Ramirez to your roster of 140-pound contenders. All right, so there's your fight news. Let's do some NFL free agency. The Cowboy guys talked about Orlando Scandrick leaving the Cowboys to join the R's. Since we have left, we did get the Kirk Cousins news. 3 years, $84 million, fully guaranteed, boys and girls. So he gets all the breads from the Wilf boys, and he will be their quarterback for the next 3 years. And like we talked about last Monday, this gives him a chance to cash in again at age 32. Kirk Cousins joining the Vikings. Chris, 2 words or less, 3 words or less. Kirk Cousins to the Vikings.
Great move.
Great move. Bebo, 3 words or less.
Very good move.
Very good move. All right. Let's do a little speed round. Cordero Patterson, former Viking, former Raider, now a New England Patriot. Bebo, your thoughts?
Great move.
Chris, Cordero Patterson, now a New England Patriot. His career high receiving yards, 469. Chris, over, under 475 receiving yards for Cordero Patterson.
Over.
Over. He will replace Danny Amendola, who went to the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Malcolm Mitchell will return to bolster the receiving corps. They'll have Julian Edelman back from a knee injury. What about Philip Dorsett, the former Hurricane, whom they acquired in the Jacoby Brissett trade? I guess he'll be there too.
Got to learn to run routes.
All right, joining Chris Hogan as well. Mookie's former homie, Vinny Curry, joins the Buccaneers on a 3-year, $27 million deal, $11.5 million guaranteed. Chris, your thoughts?
I like it. I mean, he got his money back after the injury season, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you have to pay. At least the team is trying. They're banking on him to bring over some of that winning ways from the Eagles.
Vinny Curry to the Buccaneers, Bebo.
Pretty good, man. Good route spot for them, man.
I like him and Gerald McCoy together.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Agreed.
interesting. But once again, Dirk Cutter's the coach. So.
Dirk Cutter's the
Yeah.
coach. Yeah. Thank you. Jets now have the number 3 pick in the draft. They trade swaps with the Colts. Colts have now the 6th pick overall. I think this signifies that the Jets will add a 5th quarterback to their roster. So they still have Christian Hackenberg, Bryce Petty, who they spent draft picks on, but they blow chunks. They signed Teddy Bridgewater to a 1-year deal and Josh McCown to a 1-year deal. They are now the 3rd pick overall in the draft, which puts them in a position to grab one of the quarterbacks or maybe even Saquon Barkley if he falls out the top 2. Chris, will the Jets draft a quarterback?
No. I think they're going to go after Barkley.
Okay.
I think they like the running game. I think they're hoping on the Teddy Bridgewater reproclamation. I think look, if Lamar Jackson slips down to like that 2nd round or 3rd round, man, you can go after that. I mean, they're probably taking the Cowboys formula, trying to build the offensive line, maybe bolster that defense that lost Sheldon Richardson and Muhammad Wilkerson just over a year ago. So I think they'll go after Saquon. I think they want to get somebody that can sell jerseys.
Bebo, Colts. It's not like bringing Andrew Luck in. Well, if Andrew Luck comes back and everything goes smoothly, they need talent everywhere. Why the hell you draft? Listen, if you got a chance to get Saquon Barkley, look, you're not trusting Marlon Mack here. Frank Gore's still kicking around, the former Hurricane great. What the hell are the Colts doing? I mean, you can get a top talent at 6, but if you're at 3, you can get Saquon, you can get Quentin Nelson possibly from Notre Dame, the guard. What the hell are the Colts doing?
This is the thing that we've been talking about the Colts all the time when it comes to the offseason. Where you have Andrew Luck, who's coming back from this shoulder surgery. You keep giving him the benefit of the doubt. Now, remember 2 or 3 years ago, we were saying how great Andrew Luck was. Man, you was preaching that like every single time.
That boy used to be good.
Yeah, that boy used to be good now. But now you still ride with him, that's fine. But at the same time, do all of this, you didn't add no help to the offensive line. You didn't add no help to the receiving core. You damn sure didn't have no help to the defense. Like you said, you do have Frank Gore that's kicking around or whatever. But at the same time, please do not waste this number 3 pick. Go after a running back. If you can get a running back, that's great. Please do that because you don't know how long Frank Gore going to be out there chunking out 1,000 yards or whatever that he's doing. But at the same time, I say you can take a gamble. I'm going to be savage with this. Matter of fact, go after a quarterback. I want you to go after a quarterback just to make sure, have that just in case as happens mentality. Because are you really sure about Andrew Luck coming back from the surgery or not? If not, I say go after the quarterback. If not, go after the running back. Try to improve your offense some kind of way because you can't do it without Andrew Luck. Because y'all won't score on a damn thing. That defense was damn sure not stopping nobody.
Well, Frank Gore's a free agent, so that makes it interesting. He looks like he may be going to the Detroit Lions.
And they also have.
Will he join LeGarrette Blount as Detroit continues to overhaul their running back corps? We'll say we had Theo Riddick and who's my other man? Amir Abdullah.
Yeah.
Okay, who combined for like a lot of no yards and a lot of fumbles. So LeGarrette Blount joins Detroit on a 1-year deal. The Rams continue to make moves. They add former Cincinnati center John Sullivan. The Bears cue up the DJ Khaled. You played yourself. This Kyle Fuller situation. So Ryan Pace, the GM, declines Fuller's 5th-year option before last season. Okay, you know, because he had a horrible 2016. All of a sudden, you know, 22 passes deflected, second only to Darius Slay. So now, you know, Green Bay comes and sniffs around, sort of like a restricted free agent situation. Green Bay comes sniffing around, puts some what do we call that? Who's your boy who plays for the Grizzlies? Parsons. Put some Chandler Parsons Mavs language in there. So read this. He may get $29 million guaranteed in the first 2 years. So the Bears did not want to lose him to Green Bay, so they re-signed him as well. Chris, your boy Michael Crabtree, only for the Deion lovers, he goes to Baltimore as Baltimore overhauls their wide receiver core. What are your thoughts there?
Man, I think he's the perfect number 2 wide receiver to a good wide receiver number 1. I mean, look, he's probably like for Dallas fans. I told him if he came to Dallas, he's your best route runner. He may have your best hands on your team. I just think that he's never been in a stable situation with quarterbacks. I like the move. That team needs offensive talent bad, and I think that he fits that. And I hope that he makes a difference there. But I'm surprised teams like Green Bay didn't go after him. I know Green Bay likes Devontae Adams, and I guess they're going to try to re-sign Randall Cobb because I haven't heard anything about him. But I think it's a good move for Baltimore. He's a veteran. There was no way. I heard the rumors of him going to the Rams. There is no way him and Sal Grand Perry would have been playing together on the same team.
The greatest NFL pipe dream ever. Akeem Talib, Michael Crabtree, teammates in all the see, that would have completed the California connection right there. All right, BMO. Sheldon Richardson, fat man in the middle. 1-year deal to join the Minnesota Vikings. I hear rumors that Sharif Floyd, a former Cowboy draft hype beast, is possibly retiring. What are your thoughts on Sheldon Richardson?
They get a fat boy in the middle. Just think like with the 1 year that he had last year, he was at Seattle, correct? He was with Seattle. See what he did at Seattle for 1 year. He's going to Minnesota. Already added on to that great front seven that they have. That causes turnovers, and he does that very well. So it's a nice pickup for Minnesota.
Chris, Star Lotuale signs with the Bills. Dontari Poe signs with the Panthers. Sheldon Richardson goes to the Vikings. Muhammad Wilkerson joins the Packers. Who got the better deal?
I'm going to say the Vikings because you added on to a defense. And what's going to be scary is there's news now that Donkey Kong Sue may be around. And that could be like, we may be talking about probably the best defense in football by far. And I think the Eagles have done the right thing by just adding pieces. See, the thing is, it's not about the money. To them, they're trying to win. The Panthers did a great job going after what they did. I just think that, like, the Vikings did a hell of a job, man. Like, I give them credit. For a team that we thought was going to be in cap hell with all these free agents on defense, they were able to re-sign them, and they got them a franchise quarterback for the time being. And I think that's a marvelous idea. I think they won it straight, but, man, if Donkey Kong goes to the Rams, with Aaron Donald, man, you're probably talking about the most treacherous up front defensive tackle combo in the league.
Jordy Nelson takes his talents to the Raiders. BMO, real quick.
I like that with him, good route runner, great hands. I think that would complement Derek Carr more as far as, Carr did have that back injury, so now he can do, more. You have somebody really to give more quick slants and trust the hands because you don't have that with Amari Cooper. So you need a hands guy out there since Crabtree is gone. Picking up Jordan Nelson, that's great for them.
Chris, Austin Seferian Jenkins joins the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, they still got Mercedes Lewis, who still is playing a good high level for them. I'm a little upset with them that they didn't go out to guys like a Crabtree, somebody with a veteran presence, a Jordy Nelson, to help that offense. Because that offense needs help. Safari Jenkins is coming back from some injuries and some different things off the field. We've all been in this room and hyped him up after his rookie year. Like, oh, man.
Probably had him all on our fantasy team for a week or two.
Yeah, he was okay at Tampa, but he never panned out. I like the move. Maybe it's a change of scenery for him, but at the end of the day, it's still Blake Bortles.
And in a sense, they replaced Allen Robinson, who went to the Bears, with Dante Moncrief, former Indianapolis Colt. All right, McCourty boys, they will now catch snow together for the New England Patriots. Bust out your cocoa butter.
Palmer's.
Tyler Eifert re-signs with the Bengals.
That may be a steal.
Even though Tyler Kroft took a lot of his red zone receptions. But look, I mean, a 2 tight end league, I think that's good. Who are their receivers not named A.J. Green? Is your boy LaFell coming back? Is Tyler Boyd any good?
And the guy that they had last year, who was the guy that was really fast? He fumbled the first play.
John Ross.
Yeah, he fumbled, and that was it. I mean, I like the move for Eifert. It's a cheap deal. He's been injury-riddled. Like you said, 2 tight end league. You look at the Chargers. I think they probably had the best example of what you could do with a veteran like Antonio Gates that bring in Hunter Henry last year, who I thought was a marvelous tight end. Definitely a nice guy. Nice added piece.
A.J. McCarron joins the Bills to battle it out with Nathan Peterman for the starting job. Case Keenum will be your starting quarterback for the Broncos. Broncos send Trevor Siemian to the Vikings.
I don't get that with the Broncos because I thought that we all thought they were a quarterback away, right? Like, they got good wide receivers. They got the running game somewhat. They got the defense, of course. But then all of a sudden you just say, we all knew the perfect situation for Case Keenum. For Kirk Cousins would have been in Denver. Like, look, that is a win-now team. And all of a sudden, I think what happened was this. John Elway looked up and he saw $30 million, and he said, well, about that, and with all these quarterbacks coming in, maybe we take Keenum. To me, I want to see what Keenum does there. I don't know if he had the same year because I think that, I'm a big Vikings hater to a certain standpoint, but I am willing to admit today, I think it's a big difference, man, when you play with guys like Adam Thielen and Stephon Diggs and, those kind of guys, Kyle Rudolph and those guys in that running game. So we'll see. I don't know what Elway's trying to do. He's another one of those. Are they trying to rebuild or are they trying to win?
And last on the NFL note, Cleveland picks up a trio of guys, including, is this the former Cowboy, Terrence Mitchell?
Yes.
The former DB.
Started for Kansas City last year.
They also signed Carlos Hyde, and the blocking tight end to sign next to the Hurricane Joku will be Darren Fells.
Hell of a offseason for the Cleveland Browns. Look, we can make fun of them.
Yes.
But I think that, man, they got speed. And I'll tell you right now, today, they potentially have the best receiving corps in football. If everybody's healthy, you're talking about a team with Josh Gordon, who we all know when healthy and when in his right mind is amazing. I don't know if you guys kept up with Corey Coleman the last
couple years. Baylor great.
He's really good too. And then you throw in Jarvis Landry in that equation. That's 3 receivers.
Quality work.
And you get Tyrod Taylor, who, look at the numbers last year. He struggled in the playoffs, but he played against Jacksonville. He's going to a team that's solidified, which Joe Thomas did retire. So I think we know where their pick is going.
Right.
Some quick baseball news.
Baseball news.
New Gingrich.
Jose Altuve can afford to pay somebody off if he had some newts leak out to the mainstream media. 7 years, $161.5 million.
Robbery.
On which side?
Altuve got screwed, I think.
You think he got underpaid?
Yes.
Okay. So he took the championship discount.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
If you want to call it that.
Jake Arrieta, 3 years, $75 million for the suddenly wanting to contend Philadelphia Phillies.
It's a weak division.
It's the Nats and everybody else?
Yeah, because they're thinking about it pretty much is right. Yeah, that's a weak division.
Look, it's the Nats of the field, but I think the allure of the wild card has Philly sort of speeding up their Cubs, Astros-esque butt-naked strip-down rebuild. So they'll be coming in with a mix of old and new vets, and they have an ace now whom they're paying $25 million over the next 3 years. Aaron Judge did his Kobe thing, dipped in that home run derby, won it, and then got out. He says no more home run derbies, even though, yes, his July and August home run numbers were abysmal. But he did hit 15 home runs in September, so he may have found, the new rhythm again. But do you agree with this move, BMO?
I agree with this move with him only because the struggles that he had after the All-Star break. Because when you do a home run derby, that's completely different than trying to hit home runs every single game. Now you're in a competition where you're allowed to hit home runs multiple times on a certain time limit. I think that really bothered him mentally, also with hitting home runs down the stretch during the season. But him being one and done, I'm completely fine with that because now you know where his main focus is, and that's focused on the Yankees only hitting home runs out of that ballpark and try to, advance more into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think for him, I think he doesn't want to be put in the Aaron Done category of just strikeout home run guy. And I think that for him, I don't know what they're doing with that batting order. I haven't even seen him. From what I was told, he's batting second, which is unreal because, that lineup is going to be ridiculous if they pull out. I don't know what they're going to do, but I've heard stories about this. I think he's probably looking at the fact that, man, look, because, what do you do if you're the Yankees? Because you got two guys now that are going to be in the home run derby if that was the case. Mm-hmm. Giancarlo's automatic every year.
Yeah, he's going.
So, I mean, I think maybe he's trying to preserve himself. I think he knows what's at stake. Also, look, I think he understands somebody probably can't say, look, we got Giancarlo, but we know Giancarlo's history. He's probably going to miss a couple of games this year. So, we need you to be at full stride.
I agree with that. And to the batting order thing, all right, so maybe like 2-3 years ago, Joe Madden, now the manager of the Cubs, was on PTI. And it was, I think, Albert Pujols' first year in Anaheim. And he talked about, what do you do with Albert Pujols when it comes to, overcoming struggles, okay? And he said, I bat him leadoff. Get to see the ball more. You get more at-bats, okay? Sort of the leadoff, the game thing only happens with one at-bat. And Aaron Boone did not dismiss the idea of possibly hitting Judge at leadoff.
I think it's unreal because that lineup is so diverse. Because the thing about Judge is this, while he's a power hitter, he has tremendous speed for somebody that big. And the thing is this, Giancarlo, you got him and Gregorius, you got those guys, all the 20, 30 base stealer guys. I mean, what do you do? And I think that's a good situation. But, man, I would hate to be the pitcher that has to go 2, 3, and 4 in that lineup.
I agree. Because we're forgetting about Sanchez.
Yeah.
Okay? And I agree with you that Didi is going to take another leap in the power department. All right. Last note. Memphis Tigers have replaced Tubby Smith with Anthony Hardaway, the former Memphis great, the hometown product, who currently coaches at East High School in Memphis and also has his own AAU team. The number one, as for last read, the number 1 and the number 26 prospects are on Anthony Hardaway's AAU team. Now, this has been a trend in the last couple of years, and it's probably been a trend for longer than we thought, especially once I read this list of colleges, finding their most famous basketball alumni. We saw it with Patrick Ewing and Georgetown. We've seen it with Chris Mullin and St. John's. I don't know how he's going to do. I hope that if he does not get Larry Brown on as an assistant, he brings a Larry Brown type. Yeah. Penny Hardaway has never coached at major college basketball. He has never been an assistant at major college basketball. As Tony Kornhauser likes to say, he has never blown the whistle or called a timeout. But Memphis is fertile recruiting grounds, okay? Tubby Smith had a mass exodus of transfers over his first 2-3 years there to the point of which he had to call a press conference to whine about the player exodus, okay? Which is ironic considering Tubby has had now 7, I think he's going to get another job. He's had now 7 jobs in major college basketball, and I know he has quit and left 3 of them. But this is more about Penny Hardaway. I don't know what we should expect from him initially, but check this list out, and maybe that will give you a clearer expectation. Did you know where Patrick Ewing went in his first year at Georgetown this year? If you were to take a guess.
Probably 500 less.
500? BMO?
About 500.
500?
About 2 games over.
Well done, Chris. 15 and 15. Chris Mullin, 3 years at St. John's, he's 38 and 60, but he has doubled his win totals from year 1 to year 3. I think year 1 they won 8, They won 16 this year, including defeats of Villanova and Xavier. Danny Manning, 92-102 at Wake Forest and Tulsa for the former Kansas great. Avery Johnson, who just got blown out the playoffs by the fighting Jalen Brunson. Hey, does he know the story about his daddy? Does Jalen Brunson know the story about his daddy? Okay.
Want to ask him?
I'd love to. He is 56-45 in 2 years.
Hell of a job at a football school.
At Alabama. Yes. Did you know that Terry Porter, former Portland great, is now the coach at the Portland Pilots? 21-44 record. Former Arizona great, Damon Stoudemire, breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the former Mighty Mouse. He is currently at Pacific, where he is 25-40. Danielle Marshall out here coaching Central Connecticut Blue Devils, 20-41. Dan Marley coaching at Grand Canyon University, the only for-profit college in Division I. They did make it to the WAC tournament title game. He is 103-57.
Oh.
Mike Dunleavy Sr., under 500 at Tulane. Other former notable basketball players in their college run: Isaiah Thomas, who coached at FIU. Clyde Drexler, who had a 19-39 record with the Cougs and was like, nah, bro, I ain't doing all this recruiting, homie. Most Sports Talk legend Reggie Theus, who just got fired at Cal State Northridge after a combined record of 85-128. He also coached at New Mexico State. Also, former Cav great Mark Price was recently fired from his job with Charlotte. Look,
Kevin Ollie too, right?
Yeah, Kevin Ollie. Yeah, they about to hit you with that just cause, man. I don't know what the cause is, but cause you ain't winning.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
I think, listen, you got blowed out by a short-handed SMU team by like 25, okay? Mm-hmm. I cut one game on. Matter of fact, as I was catching the beginning of a recording of Around the Horn, and they was showing Temple and UConn, and it was like Temple was up 30. So UConn, who just won a title, 4 years ago, in Kevin Ollie's first year?
Yeah.
He gone, bro.
No.
See what? If I'm Penny Hardaway, if I'm looking for a former coach to help me out through the ropes, I think a guy like Scott Skiles, former teammate. I mean, Scott Skiles is nowhere right now. I mean, I don't know how that would translate, for as like his style, but I think Penny's more of a recruit thing. Because like we're not used to seeing Memphis like not getting time to grow. I mean, look, they got Derrick Rose. They've gotten guys like Joey Dorsey, who was a good guy. I forgot the kid's name.
Memphis they have basketball talent.
Yeah, they have basketball DNA. I mean, it's to the point where they just can't recruit anybody. I think a lot of that has to do with
don't nobody want to play for Tubby, man.
Yeah, and I think that maybe he was a year too late because like him having RJ Barrett and those guys, it was great. So I think that like it may be a good sign. Maybe we'll see it more. We're gonna start seeing guys like come in the league and start coaching these teams that they used to coach for.
Okay, good stuff, boys. Let's take a break. We will dig in the crates. We will find births. We will find releases. It is history time. Most Sports Talk on theafterparty.com. Used to be producer. Used to be producer. Every time I pull up, they ignore me. Every time I pull up, they always ignore me.